All right, y'all, let's dive right into another AP Pre-Calculus test question, dude. This question's asking about when this function is greater than 0. So we could just graph the function and look at where the zeros are of the function, which is where it crosses the x-axis, and notice that the function is above 0 at negative 3.16 and positive 3.16, which is actually the square root of 10. If you have a graphing calculator, you could do this. But let's assume we didn't have a graphing calculator. So we're going to set the function equal to 0 to figure out the points where it could possibly be changing from negative to positive. You find the zeros of this function by setting the top of the function equal to 0, because anytime the top of this is equal to 0, the whole thing equals 0. So we set that equal to 0, and then we can start solving. Subtract 20 over to the right side, divide by negative 2, and square root, and we're going to get plus or minus the square root of 10, which is what we found on our graph, right? But now we have to figure out whether the graph is above or below the x-axis between those zeros. So what we're going to do is plug in values that are less than negative square root of 10, between negative square root of 10 and square root of 10, and above the positive square root of 10 to figure out whether the graph is positive or negative at that point. So first I'm going to plug in 0, which is between the two zeros, and that's going to give me 5. So it is positive between negative square root of 10 and positive square root of 10, which is what we saw on the graph. If I plug in negative 4, which is less than negative square root of 10, I get a negative value, so it's below the x-axis, below square root of negative 10. And if I plug in positive 4, which is to the right of the square root of 10, I get negative 3, which is also a negative value. So our only region where this graph is positive is between negative square root of 10 and positive square root of 10. So our answer is A.